Welcome everybody to Perth Poetry Club. My name's Elio Novello. I'm going to be your MC this afternoon, and we're jam-packed full with two wonderful features, both being double features. That's Samantha Amelia and Katie to her. And then also we've got lots of open mics, so we're going to start straight away with an acknowledgement of country. Honour to the Whadjuk clan of the Noongar Nation who camped near this spot near the shore of the Forgotten Lakes. Let what we say and hear today be our tribute to them. In respect of their knowing, acknowledge our unknowing and hope for acceptance in this land. Next up we have Anne Gilchrist. Make her welcome. And give her a bit more applause as she gets up to the stage.
This one is called After the Dance is Over. A flash of light in the darkness, and the white of my eye turned red. Red like the Valentine he sent me, but with less preamble. I was 18 years old, dancing in the Queen's Hall. She had never been there, but everybody knew who she was. We danced to old-time music. Does that make me old then? A dashing white sergeant spinning dizzy villagers. My two left feet laughing as I reeled wrong directions. I can do rhythm, but will lead a compass astray. He asked me to go outside. I was wrapped in kinship. My parents, my friends, my neighbours, my village, warm and safe in the shoulder of their shadows. I waited for his kiss. The plunge from light to dark paints the darkness darker, a blindness as pupils dilate towards the perimeter of an iris. So how, in this blindfolded space, when I could not see his face and waited for his lips, did his palm find me with such sharp accuracy? The shock of it dislocated the worth from my being. I limped like moss through love's abrupt landscape. There is still love in it, you know. The white of my eye turned red, like acid on litmus. Red as the rage I walked away from, but it took 2 years to find my compass. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Anne. Next up, we've been able to squeeze in an extra open micer. It's Richard Neon. Make him welcome.
I wrote this love poem over summer. Dirty love as being broke, coffee tears and morning hope, calling a Jill when her name is Lee, curling up in front of shit TV. I can be your millionaire, you can be my spend. We can buy big flat screens and smash them with our friends. Dirty love is a shared t-shirt, deodorant stains and last night's hurt, dribbling spit in the stairwell light, too many pills across a 3-chord night. You can be my sleeping bag, you can be my bike, run your tread over me, I'll cry it to my psyche. Dirty love is feeling sad, 1 year after she dumped you bad, reminiscing through grimy glass of fucking under the overpass. I can be your hot spot, I can be your floor, cut me with a loveless knife, brand me one time more.
Okay. Thank you very much to Leonard, Anne and Richard there. Brings us to our first feature, and that's Samantha Amelia, and I'll read from her bio. Samantha, originally from Dublin, Ireland, studied psychology and sociology after graduation. She went travelling and studied in the Bronx, and settled in the Bronx, New York City for 10 years. After working in many fields, including teaching, mentoring youth at risk, hospitality, management and political lobbying in Washington, she relocated to Perth. Samantha has always had a deep passion and love for the written word, especially poetry. Although she has always written poetry, she has recently completed her first collection of poetry, Love and Loss, which will be available soon. But she's available right now to hear her words. Let's give her a warm applause, Samantha Melia.
Thank you, everyone. It's an honour to be here, and I'm very grateful. I'm going to start with a poem called Stephen's Green. It's a park in the middle of Dublin City. The British Empire put it there to play cricket on the lawn, but the dirty native Catholics took over, and we went there every weekend. My father took me there as a child, so St. Stephen's Green. When we were young, Stephen's Green was our back garden. The hunting benches where generations have sat and met, just like we did when we were young. And then we never returned. Back then we had no place to go. The place we were was enough. Now we seem to never really go anywhere, but we still never go there, to our bench where we should kneel in prayer, pay homage to innocence, to simplicity, to truth, to the conversations of our youth. Please do not walk on the grass in old St. Stephen's Green, of my early days, where my father took me to feed the ducks, where punk rockers on the grass gave everyone dirty looks. I'd hold his hand, then twist and twirl around the old bandstand, see the trees playing and swaying in the breeze. I'd love that we were still in the beating heart of Dublin City, the city that made me who I am. I know you still walk there, pensive and satisfied, with that magical gleam in your eye, past the lake mirroring the overhead sky. Our very own ghost now, admiral of the ghost army, part of the whispering in that breeze, in those majestic trees, in old St. Stephen's Green, where the ghosts of children's children can be seen. I have an interest in post-traumatic stress disorder and the effect it has on soldiers coming back from war. Anyway, this is just a short poem about thinking about that. It's called A Pen, a Poem. Who is this war for? Who will remember us when we are gone? Who will proudly sing about us in a song? What did you think then at the end? A field filled with dead school children, my friend? Can you salvage a soul from this wreckage? Is it still deep inside, wrapped up in a package? Can we resume? Can we again close our eyes and love the promise of life? Cleansed of the waste, cherish the taste of you, not broken under the strain of this breakable pain. To turn and turn again and quench the thirst, let love come first, coming back to me, coming back to me. A lot of my stuff is very heavy, a lot of feelings. So this is just a light one to break it up. It's two characters. One character is looking at the other character in a cafe, and the main character is a bit of a Donald Trump style person. It's called Hairs and Graces. I see you on the phone. You're an awful strange man. You're in your 60s. You dyed your hair sides and topped a wig upon your crown. You act and smell like money. Doesn't matter, you look terribly funny. You and your honey, she's way younger than you. She's got fake hair too, and breasts. Is that how she lulled you? Oh, you're on the phone again. You just waved the waitress away with your hand. You're awfully grand. No, you're not. You're a little bollocks with no manners or class, a tiny dog who prances and frolics. You're not so important to me. I have the capability to see the measure of a man's worth is not in his wallet. You need a backbone, a character that's solid. You need to treat the waitress with respect. That's the real test. Now shut up and get out and take that skanky woman with you that's shoving her tits about. I can finally eat my lunch in peace now that your vulgarity has ceased. I don't write love poems, but I have written one in all my time. It's called Liam, and it's about my husband. He's not here, so he doesn't have to be embarrassed. My dreams are entwined and encircled in the hazel green of your eyes. My hopes are uplifted by your supple shoulder strength. The taunt vein lines on the back of your hands are my lifelines. In your laugh, my life signs. In close, you are melting, musky mouthfuls of sweet, heady, dizzying tastes. You are home and warmth, deep and delving discoveries of touch. Your sides, your back, your hands of velvet steel. that shape and make and mould my limbs, my smiles, your eyes, that nook I have climbed into, shaped into to stay safe, secure, settling, peaceful, disappearing and drifting under layers of blankets of your heady scent. Softness, muscle tissue, lines, corners, curves, a key and a lock, the answer to my knock, the response to a silent wish, the peak of my day. You lean in with a casual kiss and calm me and balm me, embrace me, replace me, enshrined in the idea that you are mine, ticking in perfect time. You get me and I get you. This is the last one of this half. I'm a huge boxing fan. My father boxed for a while. My great-grandfather boxed in the British Army in India, and my husband is an ex-boxer. So anyway, this is my love song to pugilism. It's called The Sweet Science. At the start, you feel dismal, dreary dread, pushing the adrenaline, pumping through the passageways of your primely primed body. Beady, deep-set eyes. No, there is no protection hat. That's okay because you're a gym rat, ignoring every distraction, crying low for the real action. You feel settled in the ring, punch ready, calm in the storm, frantic and lost in the ordinary. Your time in the ring is temporary. I know you are there, my corner man. You'll tell me to get up on my toes, keep my hands up to protect my nose, shift and slide, let my instinct be my guide, step back to go forward, stay off the ropes, refuse to get cornered, breathe through my nose so I won't break my jaw. The pain is honest, relieving and raw. You can do it, nothing to it. Hang in, wait for the bell. You can retreat to the corner man. Slurp and spit, get ready for the next big hit. Set your feet slightly apart. Pretend you just laced up your gloves, it's only the start. Vaseline up your eyes to let the slap slide. Bob and weave, you gotta believe. You can hear the roar, their voices soar. You carry their hopes as you're pushed against the ropes. I know you're cut, but you've got a good cut, man. Ringing in your ear, heart thumping, full of fear. Stay up, don't give up. Hit back, now you're the one that's going to attack. Take it, you'll make it. All this time you've had to commit to punishing pain. Believe in the crowd believes in you. Step forward, jab, jab. It's a fight, a real fight. A left hook has the power of your might. Push on, pull through, it's almost the end. Tears of joy are flooding up your eyes. The time has come to collect your prize. It's a knockout, it's a knockout. You felt pure hell and the loveliest of sounds, the victory bell. It's over, it's done, your marathon's run. You survived, you're alive. The fighter deep inside has arrived. Thank you.
What words and what a set of delivery there. Fantastic. Applause, please, for Samantha Melia. And she's going to be back in the second half as well. Switch back to open mic, and it's baby talk to the microphone.
The craft of perspective. My feelings are fantastically subservient to the whims of setting suns at the base of my spine. A ladder and a dance floor entwined with a performance taking place to the backdrop of my wonder wall, ever so slippery, but the edges are sharpening. For my world, my foundation of earth and stone, when it all falls away, when the battle is at its most elaborate, most reflective of the ones I love and the ones I hate, is a single pair of lips, mine or yours, whatever. That minor detail is superfluous, facing the brightness of your big, bright yellow sun. This mountain of white skin that is your breast is just another reminder that not all is lost in my fake disease, encasing a body that is within and without, an empire lending a generous wing ticket for a dance, evolving into unified humour, as it reflects how honest you are when you are alone within my disguise. As each one of your ribs take a different shade of desire into the machinery of your thought, where they form patterns of security to be laid upon the frayed flames of my inner phoenix, as I think of you never being separate from every inch of your body, a tiny dancer containing a symphony of galaxies, each one a crack in the ice, a life dissolving, a woman in transit, a boy in love, and a sleep so deep it is nothing, if not forever young. For curiosity is connected to everything, and everything is a single tear falling into a pool of soft apologies, melting into a bull with little love, reinventing secrets with beautiful escapes crafted from space, a diamond more precious than light, slipping into the fabric of fascination by seeing the magic of the infinite in the finite, a throb of lust falling in love with unknown pleasures penetrating outer space, with fresh stars evoking the most refined form of play in an imagination that is just beginning, and how easy it is to cling to a glove that fits when inspired movement rolls into an avalanche, planting seeds in a seamless future overflowing with insights tinged with electricity from the rock that never rolls. A smirk framed in the magic of an impermanent second, attached to a dream, drowning in an unfolding ocean of stars, each one beautiful, each one holding onto their own night sky, welcoming the grace of naive candor in the very serious matter that is happiness, the long, hard road into a perfect circle that is my very own, a perfect circle that is everything you are.
Thank you very much, Baby Talk. Next up, it's Marion Welligan. And because she's in the middle of the room and she's got to meander through, give her a bit more applause as she's getting to the stage.
Okay. Hello there. This is from The Immigrant Cycle by Kapka Kasabova. It's called Ghosts on the Phone. They were two of a kind, and now they live elsewhere, from each other or just elsewhere. They live in a foreign land, in lush lands, in rich lands, on both sides of a forgotten country they call their, but never by its real name. Never home, never home. They don't know why. I'm one of them. I am the one who called the other day, the other night. Why do you call, he said. Haven't you anything better to do but call ghosts in the middle of my summer? I'm in love, and there are 100,000 miles between us, and 652 days of silence. We're not there and never will be again. Why do you call? I said I call because I'm in the middle of winter and the stars have frozen in patterns. You and I never saw there, and we'll never will. I call because I am not in love, unless you count ghosts. I call because I haven't said home in 3 years and 52 days. And now that I'm at it, here is why I call. We were two of a kind, and you are the other one. Aren't you still? Aren't you? But whoever you are, I've nothing better to do. How have you been?
Thank you, Baby Talk and Marion. Brings us to our second feature, and that's Katie Taher. And I'll read from her bio. Katie is an Iranian-Canadian poet all the way from Vancouver. She studies anthropology, but more than uni, she loves swimming in the ocean, making zines and eating mangoes. Katie published her first chapbook last fall titled From Me to You, a collection of ripened figs, and currently she's experimenting with zine poems. Her most recent work captures her fascination with seeing ordinary occurrences at extraordinary miracles. This is her first feature, so make it very welcome, Katie Taher.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very excited to be here. The first time that I came here, I was sitting on that couch that you're sitting on, and when I came in for the open mic, I was so nervous. I literally just ran up read and then ran back. So things have changed since then. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get started. I made some zine poems. I forgot to tell you guys, but I'm gonna put them out, so feel free to take some. I think I have 15, so yeah, you gotta fight for it, but yeah. This first one's called In the End, and it starts with a quote by Edward Casey, and he says, "Places serve at the condition of all things," which goes to explain why certain places make me whole. While aisle 4 at the grocery store makes my mouth water, rows and rows of chocolate perfectly placed on shelves is a condition of my existence. It serves me to very high extents, and I need it. I need places to make me feel something. Take the silver elevators that always make me want to rip my hair out because patience is not embedded into place and virtue does not ring through elevator speakers. Piano songs do, which remind me of unreachable times when a black grand piano was placed in a living room that had been passed down from my mother's sister to my mother, and my father painted the place into life. His paintbrush threw up blue paisleys with gold embellishments on white passed-down walls. And my mother gave the place words with her hundreds of novels that slept on a wooden bookshelf and endless hums of Rumi's words, which goes to explain why I have so many books but never find time to read them all. Because the places we make for ourselves, we don't really make at all. They make us, structuring our lives into something we'll never really understand. And in the end, the places are all that's left. This next one is a little sad at the end, but it's a little prose, and it's called Forgotten Fact. Imagine that, even as you're prepping supper, measuring the basmati rice and doubling the water, pouring in sunflower oil because you heard olive oil shouldn't get too hot, watching the sunflower float, a translucent pink-yellow blob, chopping onions and raising your shoulder to wipe your eyes to dry the burning tears, but not quite getting the right spot, scrubbing the wooden cutting board with your yellow and green sponge and cherry blossom dish soap, hearing the onion sizzle while you think of what spices to use next. Even then, there are people dying. Wow. Wah, wah, wah. And then this next one is about a really close friendship I have back in Vancouver, and I wish that person could be here right now. They're very into poetry as well. It's called Wood Whispers, and it starts with another quote, actually, by Virginia Woolf. She says, "The most ordinary conversation is often the most poetic. Because I forgot to water the plants last week, and now they are wilting. Because maybe peppermint tea is better in the morning than it is right before bed, and hearing about your dinner gives me a glimpse of what you're like at home. Because don't get lost in articulation or think too much about loss, but remember to listen to the song I sent you. Because what we say now will linger. The sound waves will wave until there's nothing left to say, but there is. Because using tomato paste makes everything so much better, and your words are ripened figs explaining how to torrent films. Because tomorrow will come and go, and yesterday, watching raindrops fall into a puddle reminded me how gravity works." This next one is also a little dark. I wrote it a couple of years ago, and it's called Icy. And the first time I showed it to people, they thought that I have like the world's biggest enemy. But it's really not about anyone in particular. I just kind of wrote it. Icy. You must have a mind of winter, where bitter cold thoughts move rigidly through your head. Not the Christmas part of winter, with gifts and joy and carols, but the parts of winter where you're left alone standing at the bus stop in the snow, waiting for a bus that is 37 minutes late. You must have a mind of winter where you step on yellow dandelions that cry because of your coldness. Your quiet stride knows nothing about the sound of children's laughs or the serenity of marmalade skies. You must have a mind of winter where it's always dark after 4 p.m. Not the kind of darkness that lets you see the countless stars of the galaxy, but that darkness where you're trapped inside a box with nothing but screeching screams surrounding you. And then this one, I didn't originally think of reading, but I was at the beach today and I thought about a strawberry, and I remembered I wrote this ages ago, and it's called Self-Portrait as a Strawberry. At 18, I was a strawberry for Halloween. Not because I'm obsessed with the song Strawberry Fields or because I'm aching to be thrown onto a white canvas, splattered blush. I dressed up as a strawberry because I wish my hair was made of thin emerald leaves and that I were so bold and my words would blotch your mind, like strawberry stained your white t-shirt. I am a strawberry because children love me and I'm only certain when it's spring and the sun is peeking through the willow trees. I am a strawberry because I am fearful of just about anything, especially getting knocked down and bruised. I get red and sometimes I'm really unpleasant, but when I'm good, I'm fucking great. This one we can leave on an inspirational note for this half. It's called Trust Me. Trust me. If you leave, your mother will collapse on the Persian rug and weep for 9 days straight. Trust me, the day will come when you'll flutter your eyes open, dust twirling in your yellow bedroom, and you'll feel whole. You'll be brushing your teeth, staring into the mirror, white foam oozing, and you'll think, I am goddamn beautiful. I am goddamn smart. I am goddamn spectacular, and then spit it all out. Trust me, tears of destruction will settle because you are a nightingale. You will be heard. You are it. Thanks, guys.
And Katie, you are it as well. Congratulations, and she'll be back in the second half as well. Applause, please, for Katie Tahoe. We switch back to open mic, and it's Tim Parkin to the microphone.
Hi, this is kind of a theological rant. Christianity's been giving me the shits lately, especially Scott Morrison. I believe that Jesus would have loved Monty Python's The Life of Brian. I believe that Jesus was a refugee and that Jesus was a socialist. I believe that the religious right is taking over churches all over the world. I believe this is why millennials with brains are leaving in droves. Franklin Graham was endorsed in my parents' church with not a whisper of dissent. A very liberal Muslim was made to feel uncomfortable by all the Zionist bullshit. I know that 80% of Christians are conservatives and that most conservative theology is toxic. That doesn't mean that there aren't very honest and decent conservative Christians, but they're in the minority. I know that some progressive theology is also toxic. Sometimes identity politics can get a little out of hand, but progressives are closer to the message of Jesus. I believe that Scott Morrison has the spirit of the Antichrist, as does Donald Trump, as does Franklin Graham, as does Margaret Court. The prosperity doctrine embodies the spirit of the Antichrist. I believe that you can be a Christian Buddhist or a Christian Muslim. I believe that Jesus was a Zen Buddhist. Just check out the Gospel of Thomas. Buddhism and Christianity have a hell of a lot in common. And the doctrine of the Bodhisattva was probably borrowed into Buddhism from Christianity. I believe that religion is like a mountain with many paths to the top. Sincere persons of faith will probably find Jesus or Yahweh or Allah or Krishna or Freya or Hecate or Buddha or Brahma or at the top, and they are all exactly the same deity, but probably not L. Ron Hubbard, as Scientology is a total scam. I believe that mystics in all religions have more in common with each other than dogmatists, fundamentalists, and other religious fascists in their own faiths. Noam Chomsky says that the greatest threat to world peace comes from white Republican evangelicals in the USA, and he's a pretty clever pigly, the Einstein of linguistics. I believe I can give up on evangelism with its colonialist roots and just let the Holy Spirit talk to the heart of the believer. I believe that real faith questions authority and doesn't accept prefabricated Jesus is my boyfriend answers. I believe that interfaith dialogue and open set religion is the only possible way forward. I believe we can give up on Christianity and Christendom with its homophobia, transphobia, sexism, pedophilia and violent crusader history, but not on Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. And also, there was no lightning strike, so I think you must have been on safe ground. Okay, all right, looking out for okay. Right, next up, it's JP to the microphone. So make her welcome.
Poem. Jazz killed itself. Don't let poetry kill itself. Don't be afraid of the cold night air. Don't listen to institutions when you return manuscripts to brownstones. Don't bow and scuffle for Edith Wharton pioneers or Ursula Major Nebraska prose. Just hang in your own backyard and laugh, play pretty, cake trombone, and if somebody gives you beads, juju or otherwise, sleep with them around your neck. You'll dream better, maybe. There's no rain. There's no me. I'm telling you, man, sure as shit.
Okay, thank you very much for that, JP. So without further ado, we'll be starting back at close to, say, 5 past the hour, and it's going to be Alan Patchett who'll have the final word in the first half.
Yeah. The name of this is the same as the last line, so you can wait. The big news in Australia today, or any other bloody day, is a new baby royal. Queued already for kingship and the succour of high society, gifting and admission to abominable wealth, kindly supported lifelong luxury via inherited lands and the empty wallets of taxpayers. How nice it all is that we remain so attached. A couple of 100 years later, after those ships sailed in and stolen was the game. Our doting umbilicas pulsing still with sycophantic adoration 14,000 miles away. The papers tripping over themselves to first show spawning photos. The radio and TV spitting exclamated joyous colonial gee whiz, how amazing! I'm sure he's cute. He may even be better than the rest. Wouldn't take much. He may well take the throne if others timely die. Do we need to feel guilty for being totally underwhelmed? Or is this just a small price to pay for our handcuffing hyperdependency, a metastatic fault line, a jaundiced seat in the house of fawning, a compulsion for codependence, a kowtowing to history's clamp, throttled still by Union Jack and Co.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. And just a very quick one. I forgot to mention there are these leaflets on the table, and they announcing the Poetry de Moore Love Poetry contest on one side and the Ros Spencer Poetry Prize on the other. Anyway, so it's half time.